Welcome to another episode of the Salon Scoop podcast. Today, I am here with my amazing co-host, Sarah Perrin. Sarah, say hi to our folks.
Hello, everybody.
To our salon peeps. Today, we are going to learn all about using QR codes in the salon and spa environment. Sarah, how many times have you seen QR codes in the last sort of year pop into society?
Well, since the pandemic started, there's been like an absolute resurgence of QR code usage. So you see it at everywhere from restaurants to, retail spots and everything in between. I think the biggest thing is that during the pandemic, obviously, we're trying to limit contact, and QR codes are a super easy way of getting the information to your guests that you need to without having to, give them a physical copy of something. So yeah, it's been huge in the last couple of years for sure.
And it's crazy. So I have a few extra years on you, Sarah, and QR codes actually came into existence like many years back, probably like over 10 years ago. And they just kind of died. I was surprised. I thought it was going to be a thing, but you're right. Like now they've been everywhere. Even all of our, vaccine passports, were made with QR codes. And I think that restaurants are not going to go back to paper menus, right? I mean, think of the expense that it was for them. Whereas now they just have to put a little QR code. They can update their website and people will get it. And it's actually, I find it easy for myself.
Absolutely. And then on top of that too, it's environmentally friendly because you're not having as much paper waste. So it just makes sense on so many different levels to use QR codes in your business.
Yeah. And now for hair salons and spas, there's so many amazing applications of how to use QR codes in an effective way to kind of really come across as more modern, but then also create a better experience for your guests. And so that's what we're going to cover off today. We're going to look at different ways to apply these QR codes in your salon environment. So let's kind of just talk about, I guess, some of the key, we'll take it sort of area by area in a salon and share some key ideas for using these in salon.
For sure. So I would start with the waiting area because that's obviously the first point of contact for all of your guests. And there's so many different ways that you can use QR codes in your waiting area. One of them being you can have a QR code for your Wi-Fi so that your guests simply just have to scan that to link up to your salon's Wi-Fi. Yeah. You can also have a QR code set up to bring them to your website landing page so that they can kind of scope out, your services, your retail, anything like that on your website while they wait. And there's so many different ways that you can do this. You can, print it onto a sticker. You can print it onto a poster. You can pop it in a little frame. Like there's so many really cute ways that you can kind of add this to your waiting room as well. And then there's also some really cool ways, like to use it behind the desk as well. If you kind of want to dive into some of that, Scott.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think, again, waiting area is critical, right? I mean, the guest is just sort of sitting there waiting for their appointment. So you might as well have them be engaging with your online content in some way. And that QR code, for those who don't know, I'll actually have to sort of plug how to create QR codes at the end. But, it's really just allowing them to scan and access any website out there, right? So this is where you can send them, like you said, to the Wi-Fi or to the landing page. At the front desk utilization, I mean, think about online referrals, right? How much it's important to be asking your guests to write reviews. It's one thing to say, oh, would you write us a review? Oh yeah, of course, I'll do that. But if you can make it easy by providing them with, a code that they can scan and it's going to take them directly to your Google page or directly to your Facebook page or directly to your Yelp page, right? You could have a separate code depending on which review site you want people to do. And again, like you said, having a little poster maybe set up saying, write us a review, and maybe you can even offer prizes, entering them into a draw, but having that code that they can kind of do it really easily is fantastic. Second thing that could be really helpful at the front desk is for your loyalty program. If you have one in your salon company, again, for the guests to be able to easily access the loyalty program on their phone, we highly recommend app-based loyalty programs. All of these successful sort of programs in other industries now are all going app-based, whether you think of Starbucks, Sephora, Tim Hortons, McDonald's, Subway. I know these are more food-oriented, but it's kind of making the guest get engaged with the program by being on their phones, which everyone's on their phones all the time, right? Yeah. So it's really the best way to do it. And this way they can access it quickly by scanning a QR code. seeing all their points, and adding it directly into their account. So that's
Well, I was going to say too, what a great way to like incentivize leaving a review too. Like you could be like, leave a review and get an extra couple bonus stamps on your loyalty reward program. So those can
yeah,
tie nicely together too.
tying it together. Well done, Sarah. Nice. So here's another thing that a lot of salons have referral programs, right? So, but the old school, handing out a business card and saying, pass this card to your friend or colleague or whatnot is very much that. It's old school, right? So you
Totally.
can do it digitally as well. So there could be a referral QR code, right? So you could encourage the guests to just, take a picture of this QR code. So you actually have it now in your camera roll. And when you're with colleagues, friends, families, you could either, send them that QR code, or they could scan that QR code, which would take them to your website. And we would recommend having a special page set up on your website that explains the referral program. And that particular guest could then, when they go into the salon for the first time, just show that page, right, by bringing it back up to talk about the referral program and essentially get their discount or their reward for doing that. So it's just kind of a more modern way of people sharing a referral program rather than a traditional old school card.
For sure. And again, keeping it paperless and not having to worry about losing that card in between too. So yeah.
And better for the environment, right? So
Exactly.
It's like win-win-win all the way around.
Absolutely.
And I think lastly, again, when the guest is leaving the salon, at that front desk, it's nice to be able to find a ways to kind of keep contact with them. And, we always encourage salons to be using email marketing and making sure that you have the email addresses of your guests. But you want to give them value. So having a regular newsletter where you're providing updates, tips, promotions, etc., is great. So again, if you want them to sign up for your newsletter list, and you could make it a kind of a cool thing, a little poster, sign up for our VIP club to get special news and updates and offers. Scan the QR code, and it would just have them take directly to your website where they could just leave their email address and kind of be added to the list, right? So just very easy applications to be able to take advantage of.
For sure. Yeah, absolutely. Those are some awesome tips for having the QR codes at the front desk. And another underutilized area is the stylist stations. And again, that's where our guests are sitting and they're, killing time while they're processing and everything. So it's like you can get as creative as you want with what you have at your station for QR codes for them to scan. So a couple of really easy and beneficial ideas would be having an add-on or an a la carte menu. So again, same thing, just setting up a landing page on your website that then this QR code brings them to, so then they can see all of the add-on treatments. So that's not only helping increase your service tickets by, having add-on services and everything like that, but it's kind of a fun thing for them to be able to, kind of go through and snoop through and see what else they can add on to their service that they're already there for.
Yeah.
Another thing is,
they're just going to discover more, right? So
exactly. Right. Plus it's kind of a talking point too. Like it's easy for the stylist to be like, hey, check this out and let me know if there's any questions that you have about any of the additional treatments that you can add on to. Another good thing is to have like your coffee or liquor menu if you have a liquor license as well. So again, instead of having to have a paper copy of what your menu is, you can just create a landing page on your website with the QR code that brings them exactly there. Not only, again, is that better for the environment because it's less paper, but it's also more practical because let's say you have a rotating menu of beverages that you offer, or the distillery that you order from has seasonal favorites. Then you can just easily go on your website and change them as opposed to having to reprint all of these physical menus.
Just like the restaurants we talked about.
Exactly. And then the other thing is having a QR code that brings your guests to the stylist or salon's Instagram page.
Yes.
Right. They're just sitting there. They're looking to kill time anyways. They're probably scrolling on their phone. So it's like if they can quickly scan that and go creep the rest of your page and see all of the awesome work that you do or retail features or anything like that, it just makes so much sense to have that there because again, we're not in the time where we have magazines for our guests to read while their hair processes. Right. So having digital content for them to enjoy while they're in your salon. Again, it just makes so much more sense.
Yeah, and that one's just so easy to have, a sticker in the mirror, right, at the station. But every salon talks about how they want to get more followers on their, on their social media pages. This is just such an obvious one. Put the QR code, they can scan it, they instantly go to your page. And it's, a talking point, and you can talk through and say, hey, make sure you follow us because we've got great tips for, maintaining your look today, whatever the sort of services that they're having. We've got tips, we've got tutorials, we've got special offers, and it's a great way to kind of keep them engaged with you. So have them follow you through that page, and getting the QR code set up is an easy win for you.
And speaking of how easy it is, like, again, if it's as easy as just Googling QR code generator. So there's not necessarily one specific website that we recommend, because there's so many free, easy ones that you can just, like I say, give it a Google, find a QR code generator, and it will create you your own little custom QR that you can then print onto business cards or stickers or posters, or putting them in welcome packages. Like the opportunities for printing these QR codes onto like different forms of media are endless. So
yeah, absolutely. And if you're listening to this or watching this and you run into any challenges and you're not sure, just shoot us a message, either through email at info@salonsos.ca, or on our Instagram, you can DM us at salon.s.o.s. We are here to support the industry with everything digital, and we actually have our own QR code generator that we're able to utilize. So it's all free of charge. So we're happy to support you and get you set up. But start using QR codes. Modern experience, better experience, and really just there's so many wins, and you can provide your guests with opportunities to connect with you in so many more ways. So
for sure, yeah,
do it now.
Do it.
All right. That's been another S.O.S. Digital Debrief. And if you have other ideas that you're using in your salon, company, please feel free to share it with us. We want to share that with the community. And we look forward to sharing more of these tips in future episodes.
Thank you.
Have a great day.